In 2012, a team of scientists in Egypt did something that had never been done before. They put a 3,000-year-old pharaoh through a CT scanner. His name was Ramesses III. He had been dead for over 3,000 years. He had been wrapped in linen bandages for over 3,000 years. And for over 3,000 years, everyone believed he died of natural causes. The inevitable end of a long and powerful life. But when the CT scanner looked beneath the bandages, it found something that 3,000 years of history had hidden. A wound. A massive, deep, clean cut across the throat, so severe that it severed his windpipe, his major blood vessels, and cut all the way to his spine. Ramesses III did not die of old age. He was murdered. And the person who ordered his death was not an enemy general, not a foreign king, not a rebel army. It was his own wife and his own son in his own palace. In the one place he should have been safest, the harem. This is their story. The story that stayed hidden under 3,000 years of linen bandages. Welcome to Unheard History. Before we go into the conspiracy, I need you to understand who Ramesses III was, because the magnitude of this murder only makes sense when you understand the magnitude of the man. Ramesses III was the last great pharaoh of ancient Egypt. He ruled from approximately 1186 to 1155 BC, during the 20th dynasty. He inherited an empire that was already under extraordinary pressure. The late Bronze Age collapse was underway, the most catastrophic civilizational collapse in the ancient world, entire empires falling simultaneously across the Mediterranean. The Hittites were gone. Mycenae was gone. Troy was gone. The Sea Peoples, mysterious, marauding forces that swept across the ancient world, destroying everything in their path, were at Egypt's door. Ramesses III stopped them. Not once, not twice, 3 times. He fought the Sea Peoples in a series of battles on land and sea that are among the most extraordinarily documented military engagements of the ancient world, recorded in magnificent painted reliefs on the walls of his mortuary temple at Medinet Habu. He saved Egypt when every other great civilization of his era was collapsing. He was celebrated as the defender of the gods, the protector of his people, the last wall between Egypt and the darkness that had swallowed everyone else. And then he went home to his palace, and the darkness was waiting for him there, inside his own walls, in the rooms of his own women. The harem was not just a place of luxury in ancient Egypt. It was a political institution, a court within a court. A place where royal wives and their children and their supporters maintained their own networks of influence and power and ambition. And somewhere in that network, someone had decided that Ramesses III needed to die. And they had a plan so sophisticated and so carefully organized that it almost worked. Almost. To understand the harem conspiracy, you need to understand the world of the Egyptian royal court in 1155 BC. Egypt, in the reign of Ramesses III, was simultaneously magnificent and deeply unstable. On the surface, the empire appeared at the height of its power, the great temples rising, the armies triumphant, the pharaoh celebrated as a living god. But beneath the surface, the kingdom was rotting. The treasury was under enormous strain from decades of military campaigns. The priests of Amun had accumulated so much wealth and power that they were beginning to rival the pharaoh himself. The royal administration was corrupt, officials embezzling state resources with increasing boldness. There had been the first recorded worker strike in human history, when the artisans working on the royal tombs at Deir el-Medina stopped work because they had not been paid their wages of grain for months. The state was not functioning as it should. And in this atmosphere of institutional weakness, a specific tension was building in the royal harem: the question of succession. Ramesses III had multiple wives and multiple sons. His designated heir was the prince who would eventually become Ramesses IV, a son by a different mother. But there was another wife. Her name was Tiye, and Tiye had a son of her own, a son named Pentawere. And Tiye believed that her son should be the next pharaoh, not the other woman's son, her son. And she was willing to do whatever it took to make that happen. What happened next would be recorded in one of the most extraordinary documents from the ancient world: the Judicial Papyrus of Turin, a legal document from the reign of Ramesses IV that records the trials of everyone involved in what the ancient Egyptians called the Great Harem Conspiracy. And when you read it, even across 3,000 years, it reads like a crime novel, because that is exactly what it is. The conspiracy was organized by Queen Tiye and her supporters in the royal harem. Their plan was ambitious and involved multiple simultaneous elements. Tiye recruited a network of conspirators that reached far beyond the harem walls. Senior officials were brought into the plot. Military commanders were compromised. Magic was deployed, the conspirators using magical rituals and wax figures to weaken the pharaoh's defenses, to confuse his guards, to make him vulnerable. The Judicial Papyrus of Turin lists the names of the conspirators with a specificity that is remarkable even by modern forensic standards. Administrators of the harem, treasury officials, army officers, even the wives of gate guards who had passed messages in and out of the sealed harem complex. The conspiracy reached into every level of the palace. It was not a single assassin. It was a network, a carefully constructed network of people with different roles and different access and different specific contributions to the single goal of killing the pharaoh and putting Pentawere on the throne. The ancient documents describe the conspirators using a specific term for what they were doing. They called it making the great enemy fall. The great enemy. Their own king. The living god. The man who had saved Egypt from the sea peoples. Their enemy. The plan was set in motion during a festival period when the normal security routines of the palace were disrupted by the celebrations. The specific night of the attack is not recorded in the surviving documents. What is recorded is the result.
Ramesses III was attacked in the harem, and the wound the CT scanner found 3,000 years later tells us exactly what happened. The attacker or attackers came from in front. The cut was horizontal and deep, and made with a sharp blade, a knife or a sword, pulled across the throat from left to right with a single decisive motion. It was not a tentative attack. It was not a warning. It was a killing blow, delivered with the specific confidence of someone who intended to kill and intended to do it efficiently. Ramesses III died in his own palace, surrounded by his own people, murdered by the conspiracy that his own wife had organized. But here is where the story gets even stranger, because the conspiracy failed. Not in killing the pharaoh, that part worked. It failed in its ultimate objective, putting Pentawere on the throne, because someone told.
Stop, because what happened next is the part of this story that most people have never heard. The conspiracy was discovered while it was still in motion. We do not know who told. The judicial papyrus does not name the informant, but someone within the conspiracy network talked. And when the new pharaoh, Ramesses IV, came to power, he did not respond with the quick military suppression of a straightforward coup attempt. He convened a trial, a formal legal trial in ancient Egypt, 3,000 years ago, with judges and evidence and recorded verdicts.
The trial is recorded in the Judicial Papyrus of Turin, and it is one of the most extraordinary legal documents from the ancient world. 38 defendants, multiple separate trials, verdicts ranging from execution to mutilation to forced suicide. And in the middle of this legal process, something was discovered that nobody had expected. A second body. A second mummy, found near the royal tomb complex. A mummy buried in a non-royal manner with a non-royal wrapping in a sheepskin, which was considered deeply impure in Egyptian religious tradition. A mummy whose face was frozen in an expression of absolute agony. The ancient Egyptians and later archaeologists called him the Screaming Man. And when modern scientists tested his DNA, they found something extraordinary. Stay with me. The DNA of the Screaming Man matched the DNA of Ramesses III. He was the pharaoh's son. He was Pentawere, the prince who should have been king. The son Queen Tiye had sacrificed everything to put on the throne. Dead. Buried in disgrace, his face frozen in the specific expression of someone who died in extreme physical distress. The scientific analysis of his body revealed the specific cause of that expression. He had been strangled, or hanged, or possibly buried alive. The ancient sources are deliberately vague about exactly what happened to Pentawere. The judicial papyrus says only that he was given his punishment by his own hand, suggesting a forced suicide. But his physical condition suggests something more violent was done to him or to his body after death. The punishment was designed to be as complete as possible. Not just death, erasure. By burying him in sheepskin, a material considered ritually impure, the authorities were ensuring that Pentawere could not pass into the afterlife in the normal Egyptian way. Not just killed, denied eternity. The other conspirators received similarly comprehensive punishments. The senior conspirators were found guilty and executed or forced to commit suicide. Junior conspirators had their ears and noses cut off, the specific mutilation reserved for traitors in Egyptian law. Some judges who were themselves found to have colluded with the conspirators were tried in turn and punished. The trial consumed itself. Everyone connected to the conspiracy was either destroyed or damaged, except Queen Tiye. Her fate is not recorded in any surviving document. She disappears from history at the point the conspiracy is discovered. She is simply gone. No trial record, no execution record, no burial record. The woman who organized the most sophisticated palace conspiracy in Egyptian history vanishes from the written record at the moment she should be most visible. And that disappearance is in many ways the most disturbing detail of the entire story. Because a disappearance from Egyptian records is not an accident. In Egypt, records were everything. The afterlife depended on being remembered, on having your name written, on existing in the written record. To disappear from the written record was the most complete punishment available. Tiye was not executed. She was erased. And the question of exactly how that erasure was accomplished is the cold case within the cold case.
the mystery beneath the mystery. The secret that even the CT scanner cannot find. The murder of Ramesses III changed Egypt. Not immediately, but the wound it inflicted on the Egyptian state was mortal. Ramesses IV inherited a kingdom weakened by the conspiracy and by the instability of the succession crisis. He ruled for only 6 years. His successors each ruled for shorter periods still. Within a generation, the great 20th dynasty had effectively collapsed. The Egypt that Ramesses III had defended against the Sea Peoples, the Egypt he had saved at such enormous cost, survived his death by less than a century. The kingdom fragmented. The power of the priests of Amen overwhelmed the royal authority. Egypt entered a period of division and decline from which it would never truly recover in the same form. The great empire that had built the pyramids and ruled the ancient world for 2,000 years began its long, slow fade into the world that history knows. And at the beginning of that fade was a woman in a harem who believed her son should be king, and a knife across a throat in the night. The CT scanner in 2012 found the wound that 3,000 years of linen had hidden, but it could not find the answer to the question that the wound raises. How many other secrets are still wrapped in bandages somewhere in the Egyptian desert? How many other wounds are waiting to be found? How many other murders are still wrapped in the silence of 3,000 years? This is Unheard History. Subscribe, because the next secret from the ancient world is even older and even darker.